Visit us on onestepenglish.com. Listening. Listening. Directions in listening section, you will hear monologues, dialogues, and academic talks. Johnny Appleseed. Do you like to eat apples? Have you ever thought about planting an apple tree? Then you could grow your own apples to eat. That is what John Chapman did long ago. Even when he was very little, John Chapman loved apples. When he was grown, he still loved apples. So he grew apple trees to sell. Soon he began giving apple trees away to people going west. Then one day he went west too. Everywhere he went, John planted apple trees. He would stop at a town. Then, he would get people to help him clear some land. Next, he would plant apple seeds. After the trees were growing well, John would move on. He would do this all over again in the next place he came to. For 50 years, John Chapman went from place to place. Sometimes he returned to places he had been before. Then he could visit old friends and see the apple trees he had helped plant. After a while, people forgot what his real name was. They called him Johnny Appleseed.
Number 1. Why did people call John Chapman Johnny Appleseed?
Letter A. People forgot his real name.
Letter B. He always eats apples.
Letter C. John Chapman sells apples in the market.
The correct answer is letter A. The people called John Chapman Johnny Appleseed because they forgot his real name.
Number 2. What did John Chapman do every time he went to other places?
Letter A. He always buys apples to eat.
Letter B. He gives away tons of apples.
Letter C. He plants apple trees.
The correct answer is letter C. John Chapman plants apple seeds every time he went to other places.
Number 3. What did John Chapman do after he planted apple seeds?
Letter A. He stayed until he could harvest the apples.
Letter B. He moved to another town to plant apple seeds.
Letter C. He asked someone to look after his apple trees.
The correct answer is letter B. John Chapman moved to another town to plant apple seeds. Reading section.
In this section, you will be required to read 2 passages on varying topics. After each passage, you will answer questions to test your ability to understand vocabulary, writer's point of view, factual information and sentence structures.
Reading number 1. An excerpt from Is Lack of Proper Sleep Stopping You from Being Productive? By Obahialafiliate MS Source, www.psychologytoday.com.
Number 1. What will happen if we get less than 7 hours sleep?
Letter A. It would impact our performance.
Letter B. We would be sleepy throughout the day.
Letter C. Sleepiness would be our greatest enemy.
The correct answer is, letter A. Anything less than 7 hours sleep is going to start impacting our performance.
Number 2. What are the things we might experience when we reduce our sleeping hours? Letter A. We will wake up half energized the next morning.
Letter B. We are going to experience a slowdown in not only reaction times but our ability to think clearly.
Letter C. We can do our work with intermittent energy.
The correct answer is, letter B. We are going to experience a slowdown in not only reaction times but our ability to think clearly when we reduce our sleeping hours.
Number 3. Why do we need to have proper sleep?
Letter A. To be able to do the things we need to accomplish.
Letter B. To be able to think clearly and not become stressed.
Letter C. To be able to say that you had enough sleep.
The correct answer is, letter B. We need to have proper sleep to be able to think clearly and not become stressed. Reading number 2. An excerpt from Explained, Why International Women's Day is celebrated on March 8th. Source, IndianExpress.com.
Number 1. From the story, what happened in the year 1908?
Letter A. International Women's Day was honored for the first time in Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland.
Letter B. The Second International Conference of Working Women was held in Denmark's Copenhagen.
Letter C. 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter hours, better pay and voting rights.
The correct answer is, letter C. In the year 1908, 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter hours, better pay and voting rights.
Number 2. Who proposed that every year, every country should celebrate on the same day to press for their demands?
Letter A. Clara Zetkin.
Letter B. Claire Zetkin.
Letter C. Clara Zetkin.
The correct answer is, letter A. Claire Zetkin proposed that every year, every country should celebrate on the same day to press for their demands.
You've reached the mid part of the video. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe.
Vocab. In this section, you will learn vocabulary words with its meanings and examples. In the test, there are 5 questions and you have 10 seconds to answer each question.
Conference. Noun, a formal meeting of the 2 or more people for discussion.
Example. We need to attend a conference tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Deprive. Verb, to remove or take away from a certain place or position.
Example. The president was deprived of his power.
Recommend. Verb, to suggest or advise to do something.
Example. Which food in this restaurant do you recommend?
Simultaneous. Adjective, happening or existing at the same time.
Example. There were simultaneous crimes in different cities.
Standard. Noun, an approved or agreed level of quality.
Example. We need to remember that we have a standard to follow. Let's have a quick test on vocab section.
Number 1. Police officers don't have the power to blank the suspect from his rights. Verb, to remove or take away from a certain place or position.
Letter A. Conference. Letter B. Deprive. Letter C. Recommend. Letter D. Simultaneous. Letter E. Standard.
The correct answer is, letter B. Police officers don't have the power to deprive the suspect from his rights.
Number 2. Following the blank will make our project the best. Noun, an approved or agreed level of quality.
Letter A. Conference. Letter B. Deprive. Letter C. Recommend. Letter D. Simultaneous. Letter E. Standard.
The correct answer is, letter E. Following the standard will make our project the best.
Number 3. Mr. Johnson called for an emergency blank. Noun, a formal meeting of 2 or more people for discussion.
Letter A. Conference. Letter B. Deprive. Letter C. Recommend. Letter D. Simultaneous. Letter E. Standard.
The correct answer is, letter A. Mr. Johnson called for an emergency conference.
Number 4. This food is delicious. I will blank this with my friends. Verb, to suggest or advise to do something.
Letter A. Conference. Letter B. Deprive. Letter C. Recommend. Letter D. Simultaneous. Letter E. Standard.
The correct answer is, letter C. This food is delicious. I will recommend this with my friends.
Number 5. Blank popping of party poppers all around. Adjective, happening or existing at the same time.
Letter A. Conference. Letter B. Deprive. Letter C. Recommend. Letter D. Simultaneous. Letter E. Standard.
The correct answer is, letter D. Simultaneous popping of party poppers all around.
Speaking section.
Imagine yourself running your own business 5 years from now. What are the rules you are going to impose to make your business successful? Working and having a business is a good decision to make in life. If I am going to run my own business 5 years from now, I will make sure that everything is in order, that my business will stay for a long period of time. To be able to do that, I need to set rules and standards to make my business more successful. I will make sure that the business that I am going to have will make customers come again. In short, I will make good customer service. I will also treat my employees correctly, give them the benefits that they needed, and will give them the right amount of their salary. In every successful business, there's a good boss. If you treat your employees right, they will also do their work with their utmost capabilities.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Visit us on onestepenglish.com.